Hey there everyone, Lord Frigid here with another episode of Aether Raid's Offense. We're back in light season this week. I had a pretty smooth light season as usual, and on top of that, Idun got a rerun banner without another red on it just recently, so now she can be even more of a terror to enemy defense teams. I don't know, I'm just happy. Let's go ahead and get into these battles. So the first map up is a pretty standard space suppression map with a rally trap element, using powerful two-range offensive threats to cover a lot of space. The basic idea is that when you drop a unit in Leif or Nino's range without breaking anything, Ophelia will provide a rally and get refreshed by Azura, so her range overlaps with Leif and Nino's. The obvious issue with this is that this wall here is breakable, so you can break it and stick a physical tank on the edge of Leif's increased range here, and only he will be able to attack on the enemy phase. Another problem is that it's simply too much two-range damage, and anyone with a good two-range tank can drop them deep in enemy territory and wipe out Nino, Leif, and Ophelia all in one go. I would certainly hope that anyone who's been keeping up with the series is already well aware of the value of a dedicated two-range tank, but if you're not, it is absolutely something you want to have on hand. With all that said, there really isn't anything else to talk about for this map, so I'm going to go ahead and get into my personal approach. Alright, I really don't see any reason to not just let Idun rampage all over this map, so I'm going to go ahead and get set up for that. The first thing I need to do is get Idun adjacent to Peony, and what that will do is that will provide her with the Fortify Res 4 buff, which will offset Ophelia's Chill Res, and enabling her to take less damage from Blazing Light when Ophelia attacks her. And make no mistake, Ophelia will be attacking her, because she will rally Leif and then get refreshed by Azura, and her range will be extended. I don't even actually care, because Idun can absolutely take it. I'm actually not sure exactly how much damage it is, but with 55 res pre-chill and 48 res post-chill, it shouldn't be too bad. Let's actually look, here it comes. So, oh yeah, 19, not terrible at all. And then an 8, I don't think that even puts her under half HP, which means that she will be keeping Vengeful Fighter for her next engagement. Although in this case specifically, I suppose it doesn't actually matter. Just because Leif is so slow and wields Meisterbogen, he will both get doubled and give her a one-round Iceberg, Vengeful Fighter active or not. But for cases where, say, the backup isn't Legendary Leif, this is being able to keep Vengeful Fighter through the power of insane speed stack is definitely very useful. So I'm thinking Nino's probably going to move straight down. Interesting, Sothis is, enemy Sothis is coming straight down as well, instead of going out to the right. Let's see, maybe we can change that. If I take Idun and have her one-shot Nino, and then maybe I can bump Peony over to the left, and then have her refresh Sothis, get Sothis adjacent to Idun again for the Armor March bonuses, and maybe that'll make Sothis trend over to the right, question mark? Oh, no, I guess she must want to take on Peony or something. No big deal. I do want to get Idun in the same row or column as Peony here, so I think the best way to do that is actually to move Sothis. Yeah, move Sothis, then refresh Sothis. And after Sothis is refreshed, then Idun will actually be able to warp to her. Yes, there we go. Now I've got Idun and Peony in the same row, and the orientation of my units is exactly as I want it to be. Sothis and Legendary Azura will be attacking Idun on the enemy phase, and after that, I guess there really doesn't have anywhere to go but one space to the right, at which point, let me think. I kind of forget what I saw on that map there. I believe Idun should be able to just walk up and take the, the Aether Fountain, and then have my Sothis reposition Peony so she can refresh Idun, who will proceed to take down enemy Surtur. I think that's the play here. So let's go ahead and watch as Idun melts Azura, or well, freezes Azura, because she's using Iceberg instead of Bonfire. Thanks to the Fortress Res seal for making her res the higher of her defensive stats. And yeah, just like I said, Aether Fountain take down and then reposition Peony up here. And this should actually be a one-shot. That tends to happen with the Idun versus Surtur matchup. So goodbye, Ruler of Flame. For map number 2, we have a cavalry ball, I guess is what I'll call this, or perhaps a jug draw theme team. Regardless, the intent of this map is completely unambiguous. It wants to swarm and overwhelm you with high move cavalry. It is assisted in this effort by Nana's flash, which will prevent counterattacks from your units, leaving them unable to respond to the assault from the remaining foes. The biggest weakness of this map is actually right here. What you will want to do is eliminate both Reinhardts and simply stick a 2-range tank in Sword Reinhardt's space. It is definitely worth noting that because both Reinhardts are slow and have only decent defenses, it's quite possible that your 2-range tank can be the one to actually take them both down. Now, after that, as long as your tank is capable of defeating Leif and both Olwens, 2 scenarios can play out. The first is that your 2-range tank has Null Sea Disrupt and wipes out the remaining foes in one fell swoop. The other is that your tank does not have Null Sea Disrupt, and the AI will prioritize Nana's combat as it is the only non-losing attack. Then, Olwen Blue Mage Knight will attack as she is in position to do so, and the other 2 are trapped. You have now forced the enemies into a situation where only the 2 least threatening foes are actually capable of attacking you, which should lead into a very easy victory. So this map is an excellent opportunity to break out the Faye raiding party, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. I will need to take out the Aether structures pretty quickly here, and the reason for that is the strategy I have in mind actually eliminates all of the enemies in a single turn. Not a single phase, as unfortunately that would be quite impossible for this team. But player phase and enemy phase, and that should actually one set should end it. I will need to get air over to the right hand side of the map in pretty short order so I don't run out of time. Just wondering how I can best do that. I think a couple reposition operations like this should get her close enough and still allow me to test the heavy trap on my next turn. Let's see here. So Wrath is not affected by the tactics room, that's good. And breaking the Dark Shrine doesn't actually do anything for me because Faye is afflicted by the Dark Shrine, but she is also afflicted by Chill Def and Chill Res, of which there are 2 copies of each on this map. Kind of annoying, but oh well, what can you do? So, I'm going to go ahead and test this. Okay, that's real. And then 2 reposition operations, actually 3 reposition operations. 2 to get Wrath to safety and 1 to get Peony to safety. And then I can continue to move air over to the right. So let's take a look at how this is shaping up. This is actually looking pretty good here. So I'm going to go ahead and break the Bolt Tower with Wrath, and now after this, I will need to have him move over back towards the center so he can assist with my assault. And the way that's going to look is basically something like Kaden repositions Faye, which should give her buffs that will enable her to take out the Sword Reinhardt. Then Peony will refresh Faye, so Faye can then move up 2 spaces and take out the Tome Reinhardt. And after that, Wrath will be able to smite Kaden up 2 spaces to support Faye for her combats against Nana, Olwen, and Leif. Let's take a look here. I should be able to reposition Wrath into danger and then just refresh him so he can run out of it, or I could just actually reposition him either way. It doesn't really matter. So, yeah, why not break it? She's there anyway. She's not breaking anything else. So let's move Wrath down here. And even though Area is afflicted by the Tactics Room, the Aether Fountain is only 1 space away, fortunately. So no problem sticking her there. Let's take a look. It's go time now. Just make sure Faye doesn't have any attack debuffs that would prevent her from one rounding Reinhardt, and she does not, so that's good. 229 will take him right out, and then I can refresh Faye, and that should provide her with the ability to move up and take down Tome Reinhardt or Olwen. I'm thinking Reinhardt just because I would rather have Green Olwen's Tome buffed by +6 than to have Legendary Life Attack buffed by +6. I'll take a +6 damage from the Tome over +10 damage from the bow any day. And now Faye should actually be able to take out all of these enemies with relative ease. Oh, yeah, 2s from Leif. Yeah, and 0s from Olwen, definitely. Yeah, not too bad at all. I'm including this third map as a bonus battle to make sure this video isn't depressingly short. It's a pretty straightforward strategy. The idea is that between Anna and Odin, the enemy team will be able to get at least one unit to survive and become a Wings of Mercy beacon for Ogma and Barter. Anna's survival is assisted by sheer stat stacking to help prevent her from getting doubled. Odin is helped by Sturdy Impact, Low Attack Speed, and Miracle, all but ensuring that the only enemies that will be able to take him out are super fast foes with special charge inhibition and a guaranteed follow-up effect. Not exactly a common combination there. Now, unfortunately, as is the case with most maps that I choose to showcase as bonus battles, this is a setup where there isn't really a common replicable approach that a wide variety of players will be able to take advantage of. I do think there's a possibility that a 2-range tank placed at the edge of Anna's range will be able to eliminate Anna with an automatic follow-up, and then survive Odin without getting him under half HP, because low attack speed and potentially Sturdy Impact will prevent him from taking enough damage, at least on the first round. That will give you at least a little bit of breathing room to work with before Barter and Ogma reach your units on their own 2 feet. So I decided to try giving Idun summoner support for, science. And one happy side effect of that is that she now has enough HP to resist Ninian's sudden panic. I'm going to go ahead and take full advantage of that by stacking her up with field buffs so she can survive this monster of an enemy face coming her way. I did run calculations to make sure that she can take a single round of combat each from Barter, Ogma, Anna, and Odin on the same enemy phase. So let's put my calculation skills to the test, shall we? I'm going to go ahead and get field buffs to her attack speed and def through Peony's Gentle Dream. And let's get this show on the road. I am expecting a rally to come out from Barter to kick things off, and I was immediately wrong. I must have missed an attack buff source for Anna. I'm actually really worried that Odin will move straight down, which will allow him to get refreshed by Ninian. Then after he attacks Idun, he can get refreshed by the enemy Peony, and then walk over and just squish my Peony, which would not be fun. So we'll have to see. Okay, fortunately he moves over to the left, and he deals 2 14s, that's fine, Idun can live that. Actually, Idun only deals 20 damage to him. I only actually did calculations to check to see if Idun could survive getting attacked by all the enemies. I didn't run any calculations to check to see if she actually put Odin under half HP. And she didn't, which is totally fine by me, not gonna lie. Now she can use Iceberg to take Odin down to his Miracle, and then I will refresh her, get her to finish him off, and then I will need to reposition Peony out of the way so Idun doesn't get afflicted by Ninian's sudden panic, because she is now 20 HP shy of actually resisting it. And I guess really now all I have to do is wonder why in the world Barter has rally attack if not to apply it to Anna. Oh, you know, it's probably so that you don't just bait out Peony. Like take somebody out and then try and bait out Peony from a location that nobody else can hit. Yeah, actually that's probably going to come into play right now, since Barter, I strongly doubt he's going to be able to deal any damage whatsoever to Idun without his bonfire. And of course the AI doesn't take specials into account when deciding if how much damage it or the enemy can deal. So I will go ahead and reposition Peony out of there, and then get Wrath over to the left. I will prepare to have Air smite him over the water so he can take the Aether Fountain. As I expected, Barter provides the rally, and he still does absolutely nothing even when he gets refreshed. A 15 with Bonfire, that's alright. And then he gets completely destroyed by Iceberg. His garbage res and triangle disadvantage certainly didn't help either. Ninian does move first, as she did on the last turns, probably because she's closer to targets. I believe that's how it works. And I do need to move Idun back a tile, at least one, so that she doesn't take hits from Ninian, Ogma, and Peony on the same enemy phase. She can do it, and that's the problem. I don't want her to be taking them all out before I've gotten a chance to get at least one of these Aether structures here. So let's go ahead and move back here. One space should actually be fine. I suppose Ogma could theoretically move down towards the right, but I strongly doubt it. I didn't really run matchups for anyone other than Idun, but I suspect that he would prefer to go for Wrath or Air over Sothis. Or maybe even Peony, all of which would make him want to go to the center instead of off to the right. So let's take a look here. Is that... Wait, does she have Dark Breath? She must. That was definitely Dark Breath that I saw there. Okay, whatever. Not really a huge deal. Idun will have Vengeful Fighter, and Ogma's res is pretty garbage, so I don't think it's going to stop her from taking him out. Let's just make sure here. Oh yeah, he's dead. So the only problem is, how am I going to get the Aether structures with Peony right freaking there? I don't think... See, because the thing is, my air has chill speed and Wrath has chill attack, so the enemy Peony right now is going to get afflicted by both. So I don't think she's going to be able to survive literally anyone. My Peony is debuffed by 7s. Oh, from Ninian's Dark Breath. So...
maybe this
yeah, she doesn't take her out now, but she probably will. Huh. Okay, well, it's alright. I can live with just the Aether Fountain. I've taken enough Aether structures at this point that I can survive with just one. Although, wait, couldn't I have... You know what? Never mind. I think I could have gotten both by delaying Peony's combat, enemy Peony's combat by a turn, but it doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. I'll be good. So let's just take a look here. I can pray, but yeah, my Peony takes her out. Oh well. And that is it. I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Aether Raid's Offense. You might think that having a Dune steamroll things gets a little old after a while, but I'm not tired of it. Anyway, if my Astro Season performance continues to hold up, I will see you all at the end of that for another Aether Raid's Offense video. So, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.